Yep, it's a no-brainer that bullying is a bad thing overall and that the world could have been a much better version of itself without it. Alas, we live in such an imperfect world and as such we have to adapt to it. That's why for today we will be talking about the top 10 anime bullies that got what they so rightfully deserve. But hold on there, before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and press that little bell icon down below and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And most importantly, enjoy. Well, diving right on into it, let's go into Overlord. The world of Overlord is not a stranger for corruption and evil, especially in the high noble human societies. One such corrupt scumbag was the Bastard Lord and the leader of an underground organization that sells SAs and kills anyone they deem inferior to them, as the thugs and their boss used to torture people as they pleased, and to put an end to their monstrosity, someone had to step in, aka the one hell of a butler, Sebas. Lord Sebas finds a man who looked like the boss. He was brutally beating a woman and assaulting her sexually with no remorse or any feelings of that matter. That poor girl. Lo and behold, Sebas grabbing him off the bed and slapping him so hard he disfigured his face even more with each slap to it, with no care in the world for this nobleman's support or power. Finally, and the kicker here is what ends it all, is finally kicking him once, putting an end to his sorry, miserable ass of an existence. Oh, how satisfying is that? And speaking of satisfying, let's head on over to Durarara.
女の子の携帯を踏み潰すことを趣味にするよ。
Everyone is familiar with high school bullying and just how far it can escalate. However, lucky enough for Henri, Izaya was around to stop the whole spectacle in his own weird but somehow effective way. What did he do, you ask? Well, he didn't beat any girls, that's for sure. He is a gentleman, after all. The girl's phone, though, well, it learned the hard way what bullying leads to and just how bad bullying is. With the phone smashed, it was time for the bamboozled girls to ask for the help of the hippie boyfriend, in which Izaya makes quick work of giving his hair a trim, terrifying the ever-living shit out of him. Out of all the encounters with the bullies, this one was a funny one, rather than the revenge and kill everyone kind, and I loved it for that. But you know what else I love? Jujutsu Kaisen. Now here we have Junpei, who has spent his whole life as a loner, and he does not like any other human being apart from his mother and, sometimes, Itadori. That is due to him facing many instances of bullying since he was a shy, timid kid, aka an easy target. People used him for their benefits, so now he believes that other humans are evil and trash too. And one day at school, a girl claims that Junpei was looking at her inappropriately. Which was a lie, obviously. I swear, bitches be lying nowadays. And to be frank, he gets beaten up pretty badly by a group of boys as well because, well, bitches be lying. Now Junpei was in really bad shape after this, and it's sad to say, but he is somehow already accustomed to such things. But he opened up a film club at his school, but soon these bullies took over the place, trashing it, bullying, and messing with Junpei all the frickin' time. And they even made him eat insects and burn his head using cigarettes. To hell with the term bullying, this is just straight up assault. But all this comes to an end when Mahito, the mad bastard, enters the theater, kills the bullies by blowing their heads off like popcorn, yes, pun intended, and this happens when these bullies sit right in front of Junpei in a movie theater, and Junpei is annoyed by their constant chattering. That's when Mahito enters the theater and makes them silent. For good. What happens after this event is tragic, but at least now the bullies won't harm anyone else. And for once, someone got what they deserved, which was long overdue. But still on the topic of assault and harassment, let's go over to Mob Psycho. We all know how powerful Mob is, even if some of you haven't watched the series. But you must have heard of him. He is just that iconic. But if I tell you even he had to deal with harassment and physical abuse, I bet you wouldn't believe me. Boy, color me shocked that kids tend to gang up on someone who appears quiet and introverted, but the problem is that they don't know where or when to call quits. And Mob with his timid personality was the perfect candidate for the bullies to mess with, and annoy. Mob is consistently being bullied day in, day out for his weird behaviors, his timidness, and his overall kindness that they don't deserve one bit. The verbal abuse was swiftly backed up with food being thrown at him and even physical abuse. And now that we know Mob, we know that his 100-meter is already rising and soon going to hit its limit. And we all know how Fit is going to hit the Shan when Mob reaches its limit. Good grief. Knowing there is no other choice or way, he uses his powers to defend himself. It was very satisfying to see their scared faces. Most of them were in critical condition after the sudden energy burst and a few punches, apart from the girl, but still satisfying. But hey, they lived. Just be thankful that's all they got off with. But hey, at least it wasn't cyberbullying. Which brings us to Inuyashiki. Bullying is not only limited to real life. No matter what, evil will always find its way to ruin people's lives. In Inuyashiki, we see people using the internet to bully others, and that's what we call nowadays as cyberbullying. Instead of physically hurting you, they hurt you mentally, destroying your self-esteem and respect for oneself. They talk shit about you on your posts all the time, or they blackmail you and ruin your life eventually. They're everywhere yet nowhere at the same time, thinking that hiding behind their precious screens and keyboards will keep them safe somehow. There's just one itsy-bitsy teeny tiny little problem in their strategy though. And that was the fact that Hiro exists. And let me tell you this, he is the farthest from being a hero. Going out on everyone in his path, ravaging through the city, tearing it up, and killing everyone in his way. Though Hiro has his own issues that made him like that, this is a subject for another video. But moving on to Onisama E, Mariko's situation is pretty similar to Junpei from Jujutsu Kaisen. She has a bad past and let's just say she has severe trust issues. Thanks to her bastard of a father, she is unable to trust men as her father constantly cheated on her mother and eventually divorced her. She is your typical loner and not that popular in high school. Mind you, she has a few friends, but still, she is the target of a lot of bullying and teasing when it comes to her family, father, and of course, his job. A woman's tongue is sharper than any blade, and this girl, Misaki, had her tongue sharpened the night prior in preparation to bully the living hell out of Mariko. Verbally, of course. Mariko, however, won't take that and just roll to the side. She finally bursts into a rage, stabbing Misaki with a metallic cutter. Misaki afterwards was bamboozled, and finally, for once, she shut the hell up. It was both disturbing, but she was also annoying. But also on the track of disturbing and annoying, let's talk about Redo of a Healer. This anime is disturbing from start to finish and makes you think how far humans can go for their desire. Now Leonard, an evil Imperial Knight, goes beyond anyone's imagination. He changes his appearance and looks identical to the protagonist Kyaru. Leonard raids Kyaru's village, bullies everyone he sees, and beats them brutally. Oh, but he doesn't stop there. He even goes as far as to assault Kyaru's best friend Anna in front of everyone, humiliating her and leading her to commit suicide out of trauma, shame, and pain. Anna giving up her life was the straw that broke the camel's back and the crusade for the head of Leonard to begin. Kyaru waited so long to take his revenge, and the time was finally perfect. Kyaru tricked Leonard to meet him and later turned Leonard into a girl. He didn't stop there, however. He drugged the soldiers of Leonard and set him loose on him like a group of wild beasts that know nothing but their carnal desires. And we all know how that ended up for poor little Leonard. At first, Leonard didn't see it coming, so he laughed even after turning into a girl. But as his soldiers approached, he knew what was coming his way. And let's just say his screams were music to Mai and Kyaru's ears. He deserved every bit of it, if not more. And also talking about twists and turns, let's talk about Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Sometimes your worst enemy is those most close to you, just like Dio. Dio meets JoJo, in this case, Jonathan, for the first time, and on their very first meeting he punches his dog. even after Jojo told Dio that his dog is very friendly, which he ended up burning alive. But I digress. Dio was such an evil mastermind, acting all nice and friendly in front of Jojo's father, a God-sent angel. But in his absence, he treated Jojo like shit and was the devil incarnate. He literally turns into a vampire just to kill Jojo and prove to him that he is an evil piece of shit. Jojo, in anger, attacked Dio with all his strength and made him regret his actions, and made him leave the house for good before they eventually kill each other. AKA, Jonathan dies and Dio takes his body. The fight between Jojo and Dio, though, was one of the most satisfying things you will ever watch. But up next on the list for revenge, we get Hiroko from Shadow Star Narutaru. In this anime, the bullies go way beyond their limits. I mean, to be graphic, they shove an entire test tube into Hiroko, robbing her of her virginity. I mean, that is just plain messed up, man. Who the fuck does that? Like, who the hell goes that far? You can imagine how horrible that was, and if you thought that was bad, just wait to what they do next. Their bullying never ceases. They even go as far as turning Hiroko's only best friend against her, as if causing her to lose her virginity wasn't fucked up enough. After some turn of events, Hiroko gains the ability to transform into a lizard-like creature, and not sure if that's the right way to describe it, but this is when everyone who bullied her begged and cried for forgiveness and begged to be spared. But alas, time for forgiveness was well far and understandably gone. It was time for revenge. Hiroko killed all of them. Hiroko kills all of them brutally, slicing someone's hand, inserting claws into them. The point here is, it was hella graphic, but also hella satisfying, and those bastards deserved every single bit of it. But up for last, we have yet another that deserves to go to hell for their sins. Here we talk about Hell Girl, Fourth Twilight. The Nagata family is very problematic to say the least. Parents couldn't give a rat's ass about their own children, and this leaves the two children, Akira and Arina, with no family support whatsoever, leaving them alone to fend for themselves in life. Living in such a non-caring family, Akira and Arina couldn't express their true emotions and talk about what is annoying them and causing the problems. As if things weren't bad enough as they were within the family, the creator of the anime decided to add their cousin into the mix, and that was when the fit hit the fan. Asuka was a certified grade A and glorious bully, turning the lives of Akira and Arina into literal hell. Asuka even went as far as sexually assaulting her own cousin Arina. I mean, how much more can these two take? Though Arina runs away and saves herself, and even though Akira witnessed it all, he didn't dare do anything. After that night, Akira's parents weren't home, and while they were eating lunch, they got into an argument, which made Asuka angry. He punched Akira and tied him up using a rope, and then he even tried to sexually assault Arina again. Fortunately, she managed to lock herself inside the bathroom, and it was enough time for Akira to stand up for himself and his little sister. He sent Asuka to hell using a hell website where the AI killed Asuka like a bursting balloon, and it was so satisfying to watch him suffer for his sins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had fun making it for you. I would appreciate it very much if you would smash that like button, subscribe, comment, and press on the bell icon to keep yourself notified of all our latest new videos. Let us know if there are any other bullies that deserve to be on this list. Trust me, I would love to read about it. And if there are plenty more, who knows, we might need to make another video. But as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.